guess we are live. So we'll see if we got people here. We're live. Well, we'll just go live. All right. Looks like we're live here. So, yeah. See if anybody shows up on Instagram. I don't know. So let me just reduce the volume here. Yo. Going live. I'm going live on, I think it's 3 or 4 platforms. So you bear with me while I figure out the technical issues here. Let me know if you can hear me. You know the drill. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. Yeah. So let's see who shows up. I'm just doing a little housekeeping here. Bear with me. Okay, I'm on live on, I'm on Instagram. I'm on X. I'm on YouTube. And I might be on Facebook. I'm not quite sure. We shall find out soon enough. I don't know. I don't know if I'm on Facebook. Oh well. Who knows? It's a mystery. It's a mystery. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the stream. So I hope everybody is well. Yeah. So if you're wondering, I am on YouTube right now. I'm on Facebook. And so I'm going to just do the usual thing once I get my housekeeping done here. I'm going to do the usual thing. I'm going to do the subject at hand. I'll make my book recommendations, and then I'll answer questions that are put to me. Warning, stream current bit rate is lower than the recommended bit rate. We recommend, oh boy, I'm getting a message. We recommend use a stream bit rate of 2300. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, so we're putting a lot of pressure on the system right now, and we'll see how this goes in terms of the live streams. All right, so how many people we got here? Okay, so most of it, the action is on YouTube. So I'm going to wait for the usual 30, 40 people to show up, and then I will jump into the subject at hand. All right. Okay. So we're good. So we're good. I think we're good here. So we switch to the other side. Hello. Bear with me for a second. I'm just trying to figure out the logistics here. Oh, here we go. Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. All right, so I'm streaming on multiple platforms. I'm going to see what happens. Okay, we're 43 people. If you can give me the thumbs and the likes, I would appreciate it. Yeah. So, yo, clear. All right. Okay. Thanks for showing up. Cool. From Algeria. So we got people from all over the world as usual. And everybody can hear me fine. That's cool. All right, so let me just jump into the subject, and then I'll answer some questions. So, Apple. Let me turn down the background music here. So what's going on with Apple? So Apple... a few lessons we had with Apple. So Apple right now is kind of in an innovation rut, right? You haven't seen much from them in several years. So they came up with the goggles, the Vision Pro, but the Vision Pro, I think is no go. It's too heavy. It's too encumbering. I tried it out. I did the demo. I have the Oculus. It's too heavy. It's too encumbering. And the Vision Pro, even though it's nicer, it's better. One thing I've learned in life, if it's something that's difficult, people are not going to want to deal with it. So forget about it. I don't think that's going anywhere. So problem I think Apple has been having, and I don't have any insider information, but from looking on the outside, one of the reasons we don't see too much innovation from Apple is because they are now a huge, big corporate behemoth. And when you have big corporate structures like that, there's no innovation. It's because of the culture, because of people who like to go work for large corporations. They're usually not the innovator types. Steve Jobs knew this. So when he came back to Apple, and to revitalize it, he took his creative team, I think it's Ivy and the other guys, they took them aside and he separated them from the rest of the Apple culture so that they could innovate without having to deal with the bureaucracy. So, for example, recently Apple, it was rumored, and it turned out to be true, they were working on an electric car, self-driving electric car, and they were working on this for years. I think they spent $10 billion on it. They just shut it down. And based on what I just read in articles, what had happened with Apple was there's nobody leading it, and there's too many chefs in the kitchen, and everybody, this person wanted this, and this person wanted this, and this person wanted that, and it went nowhere. Typical. So, yeah, corporate structure makes it hard to innovate. Number two, innovation is not easy. It's just not easy. So, and Steve Jobs is dead. So he was the guy driving all this kind of stuff. So I think those are the top three reasons. So what can developers learn from Apple? Well, number one, outside of that news about Apple not being able to innovate, you understand that when you go work for larger organizations, it's less dynamic. There's much more structure, much more bureaucracy. And you might find yourself, for example, as a developer working on a project, you might work on like the authentication system on a project for 2 years. Whereas if you work for a small business or a medium-sized business, you're going to have many more projects to do. You'll be doing many more tasks probably. So you might have much more responsibility. It's much more dynamic, changes much more often. So you're going to learn much more quickly in terms of implementation. So that's number one. That's the first rule that developers can learn from Apple, the corporate culture and its impact in terms of what you're going to be doing. The other thing you can learn from Apple, we're going to step away from this innovation issue that they're having now, this innovation glut, is that what makes software successful today? It's not functionality so much as you might expect. A lot of it has to do with the visuals. So Apple's phones and their computers are very good. I use them a lot. I find them stable and so on. But one of the main reasons people buy the Apple products is because of the look and feel. The user interface, the design aesthetics. That is very important for Apple. And Apple brought the whole industry in that direction, by the way. Prior to Apple, computers were just gray boxes. So that played a big role. And that leads to the next lesson is that when people are evaluating the software that you write, unless you're building some back-end infrastructure, backbone type of code, if you're writing some sort of gaming app or web app, they care about the visuals and the user experience. They don't care if the code behind the scenes is too messy. It doesn't impact them. So nobody's looking under the code. If you're developing web apps, nobody's looking under into your code to see if it's messy or not. As long as the web app works well, they're happy. So developer has to learn that especially in modern day web app development, the visuals, the user experience, the user interface is far more important than in terms of whether you're going to be able to sell it and whether it's going to be popular. It's far more important that the UI UX is solid, it's compelling, rather than the back end. You can always fix the back end. So those are the two main lessons that you can learn from Apple. Corporate culture, what that means in terms of the type of development you're going to do, how corporate culture stifles innovation. So if you want to get into an innovative field, you want to get into do really cutting edge type of stuff, you're not going to do it at a big company. Probably going to do it at a small startup, whether bootstrap or VC funded. That's where you want to go, with some exceptions, like Twitter with Musk. He's still the entrepreneur type. He's not a corporate guy, so he brings that to the business. That's why he fires tons of people. That's what entrepreneurs do. Anyway, they fire, they hire, they fire, they hire based on the needs, because the needs are very dynamic when you are in startup mode. You don't really know what's going on. When you're an established business, like a McDonald's or ExxonMobil or even Apple, you're really, you're doing the same thing over and over again, Yeah, I appreciate the thumbs, guys. If you can give me some thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. It's good for the Google algorithms. Let me go check on the other platforms. Make sure everybody's doing okay there. Let's see what's going on here. So we got Instagram. We got, okay, we got 6 people only. I'm going to say, yo. If you got questions, whether you're on Instagram, I don't know if you can comment here. Yes, you can. If you're on Instagram or you're on Twitter, please comment. I will check the stream every 5 minutes or so on that alternate platform. I don't know if people are, if anybody's on Facebook and you can comment, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you're commenting from Facebook or not. I'd be curious to know. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Let me check some comments here. Hello from my billionaire. We're living in Newton's times. The apple has fallen. Let me just get started. Wait, all right. Down here. Apple should try to make a gaming console like PlayStation or Xbox. Maybe. Apple reinvented so many technology devices in history, but Vision Pro wasn't one of them. Now, I tried it out. I was not super impressed. Yay, the comments are functional on X. Really? Post a comment. Really? Let me check. I appreciate your patience, guys. I'll get to the next segment of this little show. Hold on. We're going to X here. Where's my following? Where's my thing? Okay, there we go. Show thread. Okay, no, that's the replay. Hold on, guys. All right, profile. Okay, we're live. Go live. X here. All right. We'll see if the comments come through. So we got 27 people now, according to X, watching live. So I got the screen open on X, so I'm watching that now. We'll see what goes on. So I'm going to answer a few questions, and then I'll go on to the next segment of this whole thing. What else? Hey, STEF'S from South Africa. I'm currently trying to get front-end dev. I'm proficient in HTML, CSS, steadily advancing in JS, and just started React and Tailwind. Well, very good. Just keep working on it, man. Just keep working on it. It's a good idea to start looking for junior roles or internships. If you feel comfortable building out responsive websites, then look for internships. That's for sure. Hey, promoting the McDonald's coffee again. It's not bad. Hey, Gregory, how are you, man? Hi from South Africa. Sir, more social media developers needed in the market. Is that a question, Mr. Suransk? I don't know if I said that properly. Are you asking if there's more social media developers required, or are you just making that? Are you saying that's a statement of fact? Will it ever be able to develop games in Python rather than using hard languages like C and C++ and C#? Yeah, Kashif. Certain games are. I think there are I think there have been some pretty big games developed in. All right, we got Matthew. Matthew Webb there. How much do they pay to promote them? We're out of context, Matthew. Matthew, let me know in the comment. Hold on, guys. Let me know in the comments on X, Matthew, if you got Twitter Blue or you're just able to comment now. Let me know. I'm watching live. See what happens. There have already been some Kashif. There have already been some big games developed in Python, as far as I know. They just require, these games cannot be, shooter games or something. They have to be games that don't require too much horsepower in terms of processing power, because Python is pretty dog slow. Nope. Oh, look at that. All right, cool. So Matthew says he can just say something. Oh, that's cool. That's good. They fixed that up. That was a big fail. All right. So nice setup, man. No worries. X works. Oh, cool. All right. Elon must have decided to let you do it for free. Yeah, that's it. I think he woke up. That was silly. Just so you guys, you don't know, I'm streaming now, live streaming on X, Instagram, and YouTube, and I'm not sure. I might be live streaming on Facebook. We'll see what happens here. So yeah, it's I'm streaming on multiple platforms. Not bad. Okay, so let me go back here. I'm just trying to find my way. Hold on a second. All right, here we go. Cool. I'll answer a question here. Uncle Steph, Node.js or SQL, they're not competitive. I'm doing an API integration project. I just want to launch as fast as possible. Learning JavaScript now, though, might help me launch faster. Node.js is not a competitor to SQL. SQL is a database language. Node.js is a runtime. So no. Just learn your Node.js and then build your database out. They're two separate issues. Bitcoin JC says YouTube is still better because you can leave the app and it still plays. You can't do that with, I can do that. Oh yeah. That's one of the bonuses of Twitter or X Premium. You can close the app and it still plays. Matthew says, next we are going to get the 169-year-old dev to stream on Twitch also. Do people, I guess Twitch is still big. I don't know. All right. Let me answer a few more questions. Hello. Okay. Hello. Hey. All right. Thanks, Matthew. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, especially in the banking center. Mohammed, I think is referring to the corporate culture and how it is. Hey, Gregory, how are you, man? Do you think working at a startup is a good secondary choice for being an entrepreneur? It's a good way to get a feel for what it's like to be an entrepreneur because you're going to be more on the front lines. So I would say yeah. But freelancing is pretty cool too. What do you think of the new China AGI robot? I would have to see it. Greetings, sir. Please, I would like to know how to build 3D website. We'll start with HTML5 and CSS3. And then from there, you can look at SGML, I think it's called. And then you can look at implementing 3D in that way. You have to learn JavaScript too, because you're going to use JavaScript to manipulate the 3D on the website. Should I be applying at these meta companies since it got way bigger? I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the job market. No, can just talk now. Okay, we're getting the... That's interesting. So the X... Okay, look at that. Okay, so the comments are actually coming through on my device, on my software from X. I don't have to check X for comments anymore. Good. They're coming through. Fantastic. Is it much better to develop a career in fintech or medtech? Depends if you have the background for that, you know? The more layers of skills that you have, so financial tech or medical or your medicine, the more opportunities you create for yourself. You just have to find something that makes sense for you, though, you know? Yeah. YouTube is still better. Okay, so we've seen these. That's good to know. So now I know X can display comments in my streams here. That saves me a hassle. That's pretty good. Let me check one more thing here. How we're doing. Okay, so my Instagram live is pretty weak. I used to get like 50 people at a time, but those days are gone. All right. MacBook versus iMac. Well, generally speaking, if you plan to move around as a developer, the MacBook is better because you're mobile, right? Whereas the iMac, you're stationary. They're pretty much the same machine internally, right? So my default would be to get a laptop and then some sort of external monitor. So this way you have the mobility as well. Can coding every day cause burnout working on a medium-sized project? It can, so take breaks during the day. I talk about that, every hour, 2 or 3, go out, get a coffee, go do some exercise, do something different, get away from the computer. That will help you avoid burnout. You don't want to get to burnout. What does a senior dev expect for a junior to know in most cases? Well, you should know your way around the basics. You should be able to do, like in the web dev, you should, if you're coming in as a web developer, it depends on what specialization. I talked about 4 of them yesterday, right? You got web designer, front-end dev, backend dev, full stack. You should know your way around basically. You should be able to do stuff. But it depends on the company and how much they need you and how strict they're going to be in terms of what your requirements are. I haven't had a break for 3 months. I've been freelancing and working as a dev. Now, when I think of toast, the sandwich, I immediately think of toast from Angular. Yeah, man, go exercise a little bit. Take a little break. Consider it part of the job for you to step away from the work for a little while and to, go do something, whatever it is. Go work out in the gym hard. Go catch a movie, something. Got to take a break. Go for a walk. Go hiking. It's part of the job. It resets your brain. It will make you more productive. Hi, I've started with lead code exercises as a beginning developer. Unfortunately, I can't execute them since I find them too hard. Are these exercises important to know? No, they are not. Lead code. Learn your basics. Go build real things. You don't need to do things with lead code and stuff like that. Those are all crutches and they're fake. The biggest part about being a developer, coding is just a part of it, so I wouldn't be too concerned about that. What do you guys think of the switching cameras? Yeah. Steph, what backup methods do you use for your work? I deploy to the cloud. Everything is on the cloud, and we also use Git as well. So that's an automatic backup. Everything cloud-based. I have multiple clouds. I got local backups as well. Yeah. Is something significant really already done? Is something significant already done in Rust? So you're asking, I think, whether Rust is a viable platform or a viable language, rather. It's being used seriously. It is being used seriously. Microsoft is using it to rewrite core libraries. I believe Google is going to be replacing, I think, Go code to do it in Rust. So yeah, it is very much a viable language. By the way, if you're watching from X, you can now write your comments and I will see them and I will answer your comments. Very cool. Thanks to Elon for fixing that stupid mistake. Code long and profit, my friends. How are we doing? 120 people, not bad. Not bad. Listen, 30 likes. That's terrible. Our likes ratio sucks. If you can give me some extra love thumbs, that would be good for the algorithm. So let me do my little book stuff here, my little bookkeeping. So if you're a total beginner to software development and coding, check out my book, Web Design Start Here. This is for total beginners. It's HTML and CSS and the basic web. You'll learn about the request response cycle. I'm not making money on this. I got paid my advance. I wrote this book years ago, but I designed it specifically to be evergreen. So everything that I teach in here is 100% good for today, believe it or not. So yeah, that's my book. Check that out. Thanks for the likes, guys. So yeah, if you like, we spent a lot of time with lots of pretty pictures and diagrams in there. So if you like visuals, you like bite-sized breaking down of the basic concepts. Again, it's for total beginners. It's for total beginners. So if you're beyond total beginner, if you got a bit of skill and you want to level up your game, you want to get into something called refactoring if you haven't already. So this is refactoring. Refactoring is the process of code cleanup. There it is. And there are links below for both the books under this stream, or on YouTube anyway. And refactoring is the process of cleaning up your code. And this is the Java one. There's a JavaScript one. It is applicable to any programming language. And you learn to refactor, which you should be doing constantly as a developer. You will learn to be a better coder to begin with, better developer. Khalil says, Twitch has gotten bigger again recently, well among the youth at least. There we go. We'll see. I'm back on the streaming game. I was streaming quite a bit a while back. I'm back again, guys. How am I doing? All right, we got 50 people. We got 50 people on Twitter now, according to my app here. So that's not bad. Not bad. So 125 on YouTube, 50 here. So we're getting close to 200. It's not bad. What are we doing on Instagram? 6 people. I know. Hello. Hey. Hi. Hey, Instagram Pablos. I guess the Instagram comments are not coming through my app, unfortunately. That's a shame on Instagram for that. All right. Okay, let's go on with some more questions. Hi, can I learn PHP and make money without JavaScript? Yes, 100%. If you want to be a freelancer, PHP typically is far more important than JavaScript in the freelance game. So 100% for sure. But once you know your PHP, to learn JavaScript won't be so difficult. What do you think about Apple's fail with Vision Pro? Yeah, it is a fail. I talked about that earlier on. I think it's a fail because the device is too heavy. It's too big. I tried it out. I did the demo. I did the 25-minute demo. It's impressive, and I have the Oculus, but the Oculus, whatever, the Quest 2 I have, I used it a little while. I did the boxing simulation, which was really cool, but it's still a little heavy. It has to be like ski goggle size. It has to be 1/3 the weight for me to even think about these things seriously. Now, they'll have some minor niche business application, but I just think it's a fail. I don't think the hardware is there yet. I'm glad they're doing it because it's good. You know, it's good that they try different things, but I just don't think it's there yet. So I'm not getting it. And hi, what backup methods do you use for your work on your computer? I think I discussed that. I got a super chat. Okay, let me just jump to the super chat. I have to give the super chat priorities. Well, I appreciate your super chat. Thanks for the response. My mistake, though, I asked the wrong question. I meant PHP versus Node for my API integrations to launch as fast as possible. Well, if you don't know what you're doing, it's probably going to be PHP. PHP is very approachable. That's one of its strengths. It's really easy. You know, with Node, there's configurations and all kinds of stuff to do, whereas PHP, you upload a PHP page on a PHP-enabled server, and you throw a rock out the window, you're going to hit a server that supports PHP, and you're up and running. So that's a good question. Yeah, I would say if you don't know what you're doing, you're still learning, just jump into PHP and you'll get there very quick. X marks the spot. It's cool. I'm glad we're getting content. We're getting questions from X. The questions, by the way, make this stream much more fun for me. It's much more fun. It's actually easier for me. I get questions, I answer questions. As you can see, I just riff. You know. But that said, so we have 125 people on the stream. Only 36 likes. That's pretty pathetic. ASP.NET Core plus React or ASP.NET Core Blazor. I don't have an opinion on that. Look at the market share. Why do people say that backend most of the time is quite harder than front-end development? I reckon front-end can be as nerve-wracking as backend. You know, I think it's just because when you're doing backend for the first time, you have to understand the request response model and the server a little bit more. So there's more to take in, all the server infrastructure, you know. And that's my guess. I would agree with what you're saying, Mr. Browning. Are you familiar with KOMODO? I used it years and years ago. When we were first launching, when I first conceived of launching Studioweb, my learning software, my learning SaaS, I looked at KOMODO first. I said, okay, KOMODO, open source, learning platform. I looked at it and I said, okay, is this going to be something acceptable? Is this something I could use? And we did some mods to it. Hold on. There we go. So we did some mods to KOMODO, and I just found it to be not as it was kind of a messy code base, if I recall. That was back in the day. So we didn't use it. We put it up, we tried it, played around with it, and then we trashed it. And we just did something from scratch. I'm so sorry. My previous question was supposed to be PHP versus Node for my API. I need more sleep. or coffee. Mac Mini Studio or iMac? Again, I would lean towards Mini Studio simply because displays can last a lot longer than computer itself. So if you get the Mac Studio Mini, then you can throw monitors on it like crazy. Like I have a MacBook Air M1. It's a 2020 model. It's a 4-year-old computer. It still works like a champ. Now I got like a terabyte of hard drive on there, and I have no desire to upgrade it because for writing code and even video editing, it's more than enough. I don't need anything more than that. So I would do the Mac Mini Studio and just get a good monitor. Hey Randy, how you doing, man? Cheers. Go long and profit. Testing on X Ruby 1212. Yeah, it's true. I didn't. Ruby. All right. Does it sound a good front end roadmap? HTML, CSS, JS, Tailwind, CSS, React, Node.js, Express.js. That's fine. When you get to JS, start dabbling in Tailwind. But as you're dabbling in Tailwind, Mr. Brownie, and Matthew here loves Tailwind. When you start dabbling in Tailwind, I would like you to start building real sites. You don't want to be in tutorial hell, continuously trying to learn this and this and this. You want to get away from tutorials when you start the Tailwind and start building real things and integrate Tailwind as you start building real things. Let me tell you, as you build real projects, your learning curve will just skyrocket. Any idea about the Mojo programming language? No, I've never used it. My dream is to one day go full-time as a freelance dev and grow the freelance business into an actual service-oriented company where we build apps for clients. What do you think about that idea? Doable? It's very doable. It's very doable. Start off with your first clients, and as you build up your freelance business, you have to build efficient workflows, because when you start building an agency out, that's what Studioweb was, by the way. Studioweb, I registered that domain name in 1998. You can go check it out. And it was the new name for my web development studio. Before that, I used to call it iDesign. I should have bought that domain. Anyway, so I changed it to Studioweb, Web Design Studio. And yeah, when you scale up, when you get more and more people under you, inefficiencies enter into the game. So you have to have rock solid workflows to try to mitigate for those inefficiencies that are going to eat up all your profit. So keep that in mind. How much mid-level Android developer, Java developer should be having salary monthly? And what do you think about MVVM, MVC, DB, in Android development? Well, I'm not an Android developer. Number one, how much you get paid depends on where you're working, what part of the world. Number two, number three, Google has suggested years ago that if you're going to do Android development, the top choice for them is Kotlin. So if you want to do Android, I would look at first what the job opportunities are in Android, and you're probably going to see a lot of Kotlin. Do you ever use Docker? I have not looked at Docker in a long time. Do you not? And that's not a negative. I'm not saying anything bad about Docker. I just haven't had a need for it. Do you use GitHub or GitLab or Bitbucket? All right, what's going on here? Okay. Is it better to freelance as a backend developer or iOS developer? You're going to get much more work as a full stack web developer than either of those. Or I like this more than YouTube. Oh, cool. So JG on X. That's cool. That's great. I'm on X. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. Let's see how many people are on Instagram. Just curious now. Now we're up to 7 people. Okay. I'm going to answer a question on Instagram. I don't know. People say big companies are bad, but I found working in startups far worse. Depends what you're looking for. Depends what you're looking for. So I'm going to answer Emmanuel Gousset on Instagram. How do you cope with neck and back pain? Neck and back pain. You do that by being in shape. That's number one. What does that mean? You want to get your body fat percentage down below 20% if you're a man. Ideally between 15 and 19%. That will help a lot with back and neck pain. Number two, you want to get up and stretch and exercise on a regular basis. I call it integrating habits of health. So for example, every half an hour, go do 10 push-ups or whatever you can do max. If you can do 10, do 10. If you can do 5, do 5. If you can do 25, do 25. Max out. Just drop down, go do 25 push-ups. And then maybe do some kicking routines. You just want to stretch the body. You want to move the body. You're getting neck and back pain because you're probably sitting all day and you're probably like this. So you got to stretch. You got to move around, We are physical beings. So that's a good question. What was the other question? Yeah, the other question on Instagram was he's had more of a difficult time working on startups versus a big business. Yeah, it's a totally different game. It's about, some people love sushi and some people don't, You have to choose what's good for you, All right. Is it better to freelance? I did this one. Have you done something significant with Deno? No, I have not. I have. Matthew is not a total beginner. Matthew is actually part of my mentoring group. He went from chef to full stack developer at a multinational. He's doing very well. Did you enjoy your time in Florida? Yes, I did, actually. I think Florida is fantastic. I enjoy it quite a bit. I like traveling, but what I found I like even more than Florida specifically was traveling. So I have a self-driving car, SUV. So when you drive on the highway, it takes care of 90% of the driving. So it's a game changer. So I really enjoyed the trip to Florida. Florida's great. Made some good friends down there. Good spot. I was near the beach. I was on the beach every day for months. But I think this November, I'm going to hit the road, but I'm going to do much more time on the road. And my eventual destination is going to be Texas, I think. So, yeah, I did enjoy my time, though, in Florida. I have an idea. Studioweb as a service now. Know the market, but don't have money. I'm outside the U.S. Any recommendations? So you have, software as a service. Yes, okay. I apologize, Kai. I can't even begin to pronounce your name. My apology. Kai Hursrav. Anyway, Kai, he has a software as a service. I know the market, but don't have money. I'm outside the U.S. Any recommendations? Build a prototype if you can. Build a very rough prototype. I assume, build a very rough prototype on the side. And it just has to be very rough so you can show proof of concept. And then when you go looking for investment, when you have a prototype, far better chance, A, you get investment, and B, you be in a far better negotiating position. And you can show prospective clients as well. So build a prototype. I think the amount of refactoring needed in a project is an indication of poor planning or rushed fixes to code. Do you agree? Yep, 100%. 100%. Refactoring, the process of cleaning up the code, as I referenced in this book here, it's an ongoing process. It's an ongoing process. But as you go through this book, as I did decades ago, and you go through the refactorings, it's going to teach you what to look for in terms of bad code and then how to fix it. But what happens is then you learn not to write bad code in the first place. So it improves your coding skills overall, right? It's like if you never get unhealthy, you don't have to get healthy again, right? No worries, man. Glad I could help. Got the super chat here. Okay, we did that. If you choose to learn PHP and ignore JavaScript, that is a miserable choice. You will need to expect to know JS even with PHP. It depends on what you're doing, Edward. In terms of freelance, you're going to find that PHP is far more important than JavaScript. That being said, once you know PHP or JavaScript, to learn the other language is not a big deal, really. I'm checking my Instagram here to see if we have any more people, any questions. Okay, Mars Web Development from Texas. Very cool. Emmanuel Gosset is not in a good mood. Emmanuel says, I got a deep voice. Hello, Pablo. I hope everything is well. I'm just joining, I'm just answering my Instagram feeds. All right, so I think I got everybody on Instagram. Yeah, we're good. I'll go back to YouTube now. Well, now if you're on X, I'm monitoring questions on X as well now. So you can do that. How are we doing for people on X? 61. Not bad. Not bad. After a demanding migration project from Odoo to custom web system, managed extensive front-end tasks, and now experiencing burnout, I'm seeking recovery and reigniting my learning spark. Any suggestion? Yeah, go do some heavy-duty exercise. Back away from code. Discipline yourself to stay away from code at least a couple of days at a time. Do sauna. Eat a cleaner diet. Less junk food, believe it or not. Less carbs, less sugar will help a lot with that, believe it or not. Yeah, those are my suggestions. So we have a conversation. Okay, so we got conversations between people. By the way, I have a Discord channel. So if you want to continue the conversations when the lives are done, you can do it at the Discord channel. Link is below. It's free. We got about 3,500 members on there. So I invite you to take a look there. Mohammed Sattar Khan. That's a cool name. Uncle Steph, I'm in grade 9 and I'm learning HTML CSS from YouTube. Is that good? I want to be an AI engineer. That's great. Keep working at it. Do your HTML and your CSS, and don't be afraid to build web pages. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, and play around with the HTML and the CSS. Play around with some of the advanced CSS functionality. And once you've done that, start jumping into some JavaScript, and you can animate in your web page. You can change the colors, do some cool stuff. And then from there, you'll be in a good position to start looking at AI, the AI world. TensorFlow is the thing you want to check out. So yeah, that's a very good idea. It's all related. By you learning HTML and CSS and then later JavaScript, it will help you with your AI journeys. All right, good stuff. That's a good age too. I don't pay attention to the history of front-end development. And don't pay attention, excuse me. Hey, Troy, how are you, man? Go long and profit. Let me take a little coffee break. How to get into the North American market as a Flutter developer. Manuel, you have to build up your LinkedIn profile, start reaching out to people, start writing code, building things. That's how you do it. What if I got 200 lines of code, but also have errors in line 210? There's a lot of, maybe some white space you have to find. I do a lot of yoga on top of moving every 30 minutes. There you go. So Matthew is I'm not sure, are you senior dev yet, Matthew? He's experienced dev a couple years now, full-time, 3 years part-time. And so he knows, he's in the field. He's the real deal. So yeah, that's good. I do a lot of yoga on top of moving around every 30 minutes. That's very good. What PHP framework is the best for you at the moment? We use Laravel. Random question for fun. What's your favorite dessert? Natural apple pie. Mine is donuts. Asking so I know what to buy you if I meet you in real life one day. Well, I appreciate that. Natural homemade apple pie. That's like crack for Steph. That's drugs for Steph. That and Doritos. Yeah. You did a great pronouncing my name. Thanks for your answer. I'm glad I did, Kai. That's cool. Is it true? In reality, building a SaaS without little to no experience in both coding and marketing is tough And it's more difficult to make it actually lucrative because of the current competition. Building a SaaS is always the most difficult type of development you can do. Well, in the order of easiness, the easiest way to get into development is to get a job working for somebody. A little bit more harder is to be a successful freelancer. And harder still is to build your own SaaS product, especially if you have no experience in coding and marketing. But you can learn that, right? You can learn that. Ocean was late. How are we doing for time? 45 minutes. I was only going to do half an hour, but I'm having so much fun, I'll stay on for the hour. How's that? Good afternoon, Casey. Good afternoon. Your opinion about iOS development? I discussed that already. iOS development is good. Just look around at the job opportunities. I'm for all types of development, by the way. When I was a freelancer, do any type of development. Whatever pays me the money. You're going to pay me the money? I'll do that kind of development. You want me to do iOS? Pay me the money. All right, that's good money. Pay me a little more. Okay, I'll do it. That's it. If it's PHP, I'll do it. When I was first freelancing, I was a Java zealot. And at one point, I was a Java zealot. And I wanted everybody to do everything in Java because it was the best language, blah, 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 blah. Then I got pushed into a project where they insisted I do it in PHP. And this was not modern PHP. This was old PHP 3, which was pretty bad. But the money was good, so I said, okay, I'll do it in PHP. I'll learn PHP. Ugly language, relatively speaking. It was primitive compared to Java at that time. Today, it's pretty comparable. And I still did it. And I said, hey, there's something to this PHP. It's so light, nimble, easy. Okay, it doesn't have proper error trapping. It's not object-oriented, whatever. But it still worked. So I learned from that experience that, hey, whatever. And then I started doing more and more projects in different languages, which opened up a lot of opportunity. And what you'll find is that the first programming language is the hardest to learn. The second, you'll learn in 1/10 the time. The third, you learn in 1/5 the time. You get the idea. So I would learn a new language within a few days. And I found it fun because I would learn about how this language A would handle certain things differently from the other languages I did. So in my mentoring program, I actually teach 3 programming languages. I teach JavaScript, Python, and PHP. One of the reasons I teach 3 is because I'm introducing you to different concepts or looking at the similar concepts in different ways using the different languages, which will give you insight. So for example, if you learn to write a method in JavaScript, then you learn a method in PHP, and then you learn a method in Python, you're going to have a really deep understanding of methods because they have their own way of handling it. There are a lot of similarities, but they always have their own way of handling it. Saud Al-Gamdi, I think I said that right. I've been working as a developer for 2 years, but I always struggle joining large organizations because I haven't graduated yet. For them, it's a mandatory requirement despite my practical experience. Just keep working at it. Just keep building up your skill set. Keep building up your resume, and you become invaluable. I think that's fading, by the way. Depending on where you are in the world, the need for a degree fades. If you can show a strong portfolio of work experience, like Matthew here. Matthew is a senior full-stack dev, and he doesn't have a degree. He has an Uncle Steph training, which is better than any degree, in my opinion, but I'm biased. But he's doing great. What editor do you recommend for PHP? JetBrains editor is the best I know of. Matthew, what do you have to say? I think JetBrains, PHP Storm, very, very good. They always do good work, but Matthew might be able to give you better advice on that. It's 8:41 p.m. Mr. Brownie, where are you? Are you in Europe? William, hey, William, how you doing? Old school watcher, Code Long and Profit. I stole this from Star Trek, by the way. In Star Trek, the Vulcans would say, live long and prosper. I stole this from it's my new logo. It's Code Long and Profit. There we go. That's it. If you can do this, that tells me you're a nerd. If you can do double guns, you're a master nerd. I don't hire senior devs unless they can at least do this. If you do this, you got the job for sure. Seriously. Angular or React? What are the benefits of both of them? React is lighter and more nimble as far as I understand. I haven't looked at Angular in years. Can't find a job as iOS development in my home country. Small market. How can I relocate to the US and find jobs as a junior developer? Build up your LinkedIn profile. Start reaching out to people. Start to build up a website so you can show your projects. Yep. That's what you do. That's what you do. The more valuable you can make yourself as a developer and as a professional, the more easily you're going to get jobs. From X, PHP 3, no objects, all procedural. Yeah, pretty much. Why do people find Java intimidating for the very first time? Honestly, it's kind of verbose. Well, that's it. It's very verbose relative to the lighter languages like JavaScript, Python, PHP, Ruby. But, and it's also, you have to know what you're doing. All that verbosity and the fact that it's strongly typed, there's a lot more to take in initially. Ironically, strongly typed code is easier to debug because it's strongly typed. And there's a big debate about whether or not you would use strongly typed languages or not. That's your answer. If somebody's end goal was Java, I would say learn JavaScript first, then jump to Java. Even though I want to build a business one day, I would still like to start investing. Can you do more videos on investing in stocks, index funds on your second channel? How do I start investing, etc.? Yeah, I will. I plan on actually doing that. I have another YouTube channel where it's more free flow. It's less about code and tech. It's more about personal finance, investing, business. I'm getting into health now, nutrition, all these kind of things. Something I tell people, I'm of the age where I see people are now suffering the impacts of their early lifestyles, if you will. And sometimes they're just suffering because, roll of the dice, they get the cancer, they get the MS or whatever it is. But I also see a lot of people are suffering the impacts of poor diet and poor nutrition, not enough exercise in your 20s and 30s. And then you start hitting your 40s and 50s, it starts to hit you pretty hard. So you want to, that's why I start talking about health and nutrition much more, because when you're healthy and you got a lot of energy, you're going to have a lot of energy, your cognitive skills are going to be better, you're going to be much happier, you're going to be in a better mood. And so that's what you want to do. You want to get in shape. So on that other channel, I talk about those. I will. Thanks for bringing that up. I plan on releasing a lot more. I want and aspire to be a programmer. How do I start? Start with the basics. You can check out my courses. I got standalone courses. If you want interactive training with video and quizzing and feedback and grading and certifications, you can check out my interactive courses below. Start with HTML5. Easy. Degree from UncleSteph.com. Yeah. Yeah, we're doing a big update on that. Adding a whole bunch of new stuff in there soon. Now that I'm back. VS Code or JetBrains. Very, very good. Try both of them. Yeah, those are both pretty cool. Microsoft is really, really good they've always been really good at making code editors and integrated development environments, IDEs. They've always been really good at that. JetBrains too. Those would be my two top choices. Also, self-taught Java Android developer with 2 years experience. Okay, cool. JavaScript I do in Vim. Really? Double guns. Single gun, double gun. That's what it is. Interview. What special skill do you have? Me, I'm very fast at counting. Interview. What is me 200 interview? It's wrong, me, but I was fast. Okay, very good. Hey, Elisha, how are you, man? I'm good. How about you? All right, let me just pop into my Instagram, see if anybody's doing anything there. Do we have any questions from not too many people on Instagram. So the Instagram participation is no good. Ah, well, Probably because I'm not dedicated. So I'm going to push my Instagram here. All right, we're good. We got that handle. The Instagram feed looks like crap. Anyway, I don't even know I wonder if there's any Facebook people here. Saud. Hey, Steph, I'm really thinking of building a SaaS that is a web app integrated with AI, which is a trend now. Hold on. Do you think I can make a side income from it by making a subscription base? Well, people want to pay for it, for sure, but they gotta want to pay for it. It has to be compelling. What type genre of app may be the best big thing like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc.? I don't know, man. That's like a crystal ball question. Run Dumise. I don't know. Probably AI oriented, I would agree. I would think. I have HTML and CS and a little JS under my belt. I was wondering what kind of freelance work should I look into on Upwork and Fiverr? Well, you should look into HTML and CSS and JavaScript work. Web. Build some websites. Build some web apps. Google Docs better than Coder. Better Coder than VS Code. What? Stefan, kickboxing or lightweight training to burn calories and slim down. Weights, believe it or not, high intensity weights, not light weights, heavy weights, high intensity. Burn it out, leave in 25 minutes, half an hour. That's going to burn it, but that's going to build muscle, which will burn more fat. But, you know, a little less beer, less carbs. What's your biggest programming weakness? What's your biggest weakness in programming? Tricky algorithms, although that comes up rarely, and tricky SQL statements. So I'm happy that we got ChatGPT to take care of that. Hi, Steph. Did you ever use BPMN? I don't know what that is, so probably not. Do you think college degrees are still worth it, Alicia? Depends where you live. Generally speaking, my general advice is if you need to go into debt to go into college, don't do it. Development is one of those practices where boots meets the ground, you know? Meaning rubber meets the road, meaning if you can show you're good, you'll get jobs. But it'll be easier. It's sometimes easier depending where you work to, if you have a degree. Where we are here, Steph, Samir says. All right, Samir. I see ya. I'm on X too, and I'm also on YouTube. I'm all over the place. Which is better, AI or VR development? AI for sure. Is PHP secret king of programming? PHP is the king of freelance development. There's no question about that. If you want to freelance, it's all about PHP. That's just the way it is. It's because of the market penetration. Not because PHP is inherently better technically. It's because there's just so many companies that use PHP. How are we doing on the X here? We got 66 people on X. Not bad. 139 in YouTube. And Instagram, 6. So, yeah. Oh, what time is it? All right. Wow, we're getting close to end time here. All right. Did anyone else notice that ChatGPT became more stupid lately? I've heard that, right? Oh, we have a question from Mars Web Development. I'm in your mentor program. How do we set up one of the 3 private meetings? I don't see anything on it in the forum. DM me personally in the forum. Send me a DM in the private forum, and we can set all that up. All right. So let me just DM me in private. Oops. Forum. All right. I think I got that done. All right. What else? Any other questions before I let you go? I think we're good. Did I get everything? Okay. Last book, non-tech book. So one of the things I always talk about, if you want to improve your career prospects, you got to be a good communicator. So that's part of soft skills. Here's a great book, classic, On Writing Well. I would recommend this book. It will make you a better writer. If you become a better writer, you become a better communicator. You become a better communicator, more chances you get jobs, more chances you get pay raises, more chances you rise in the ranks, more chances you land contracts. Yeah. Oh my God. Is Laravel good at API development? Why not? For sure. I'm such an old man. I'm 30 that I just realized you meant Twitter. Old. 30. Like a spring chicken. I'm 169. Imagine how I feel. Oh, you're beer free. That's very good, man. I like HIIT training, or whatever you call it. High intensity, HIIT. High intensity interval training. High intensity interval training. So what I'm starting to do now, Matthew, for HIIT training, which is high intensity interval training. First of all, what is that? It's maxing out on your exercise. You push it to failure, whether you're a sprint for 30 seconds or 15 seconds until you're like breathing hard, or you do like as many push-ups as you can until you can't do any more, you're breathing hard. This high intensity type of training apparently activates the nervous system in a way that other types of exercise, more subdued types of exercises, don't. And the great thing, so they have a huge impact, and I feel much better. When I do HIIT training, whether it be working a heavy bag really hard for 30 seconds, or doing the push-ups, or doing the burpees, or doing the sprinting, especially the sprinting activates chemicals in your body in a positive way. There's something about sprinting. Anyway, when I do that, I feel a burst of energy and a clarity that I don't get with long, drawn-out exercises. So another bonus of high-intensity training is that it's short. Who wants to go to the gym for 2 hours? You go in there, just boom, 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 bang it out, and you spend 20 minutes, you're done. Another thing you should do, I highly recommend, assuming you're healthy enough for this, do the sauna. Go in a hot sauna. Hot sauna is huge, huge. I do it 4 or 5 times a week. Since I got back from Florida, I haven't got back. I have to join the gym again for the hot sauna. But yeah, hot sauna, man. Very important. All right, guys. Any other questions before I let you go? We're over an hour. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Very important. The Google algorithm appreciates that. I have some canned videos coming out pretty soon. I put one up on X recently on the mind games. You want to check that out? That's pretty much it. All right. Since there's no more questions, see you later, boys and girls. Sayonara. I'll let you go with my ASMR video here. This is Cape Elizabeth, Maine. Something I took